This is Jackie Helvey. I'm here at the Art Center in Carborough speaking with Stuart Howes, who is a filmmaker, and tomorrow night his film Tableau is going to be screening right here at the Art Center. So thank you for coming, first of all.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You live in Los Angeles now, so you made the trek back to see your film on the big screen, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely.
Exciting, huh?
Oh, it's super exciting. You know, to see it, I'm from Chapel Hill. I was born at UNC Hospital, went to Chapel Hill High, went to UNC. You know, Carborough, Chapel Hill is very much my home. And so to be able to show the film here where it was filmed, you know, we filmed at the Art Center. We filmed a room back there in the dark room for one scene. To be able to show it to, you know, our community, to our friends and family is super exciting, and to be able to do that in the place that we filmed is even better. So no, I'm thrilled to be here. Right,
and I'm thrilled also because, you know, when we started the Carborough Film Festival back in 2006, the focus was, the whole reason for starting the film festival was to highlight local filmmakers.
Sure.
And your film is the epitome of that. You know, you're from here, and it's filmed here. It's just wonderful. So
thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy. You know, let's start with you.
Sure.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm from Chapel Hill. Grew up here, went to UNC. I always loved film. I always loved movies. As a kid, my brother and I had this little camera, and we make these like stop motion Lego movies and all this stuff. I never considered it as a career path. I thought you needed, you know, an uncle in LA who's opening doors and pulling strings when you're 8 years old, and never considered it. And so in college, I actually majored in advertising, which is about as close to filmmaking as I could get, still doing something kind of normal. And then it was actually a year after college. Some context. My mom is from Michigan. My dad is from England. And growing up as a dual citizen, I spent a lot of time, in England and getting to travel around Europe a little bit. And I studied French for a while, and I actually moved to France after college for a year and taught English.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was terrific. It was such a great experience, and it gave me all this free time, because while I was teaching, it was only about 20 or 30 hours a week, and then I had all this time, and I brought a camera with me, and I was doing photography and videography, but just really fell head over heels in love with movies. And I think that time was incredibly formative for me, watching a lot of French movies. Certainly that influence plays into Tableau and a lot of that kind of European sensibility. But that was when I decided, okay, I just need to give this a shot. I need to try for film. So I ended up actually moving to England. I didn't have an uncle in LA, but I did have an aunt in England, my Aunt Karen, who is a director-producer with some TV shows, has done some work with the BBC. Certainly not Hollywood, but she knows what she's doing, and she's done some great things. And so I ended up getting kind of an unpaid internship with the company she was working with, and was able to get a job at the BBC as a production assistant. And so for 6 months I sort of ran around the UK doing these production assistant jobs on a lot of BBC cooking shows. So if you've seen the Great British Baking Show or some of that, got to work with a lot of those people, and that was a tremendous experience, and it sort of showed me that this is exactly what I want to be doing, was filmmaking. BBC cooking shows were maybe less my thing, and it was always more towards movies and writing my own stuff, but that was definitely sort of a proof of concept of this is what I want to be doing. And then one of the producers there encouraged me to actually move back to the US, because that's where the film industry is. So came back here, actually lived in Durham with some friends from college, and I started I had sort of a day job, and I started working on a script with a director-producer friend of mine that I had met at this conference in LA. And so started working on a script for him, ended up moving out to Los Angeles in 2019, finished that project in about February of 2020, which is, in hindsight, maybe the best or worst possible time to finish a project,
right? Because
there's about 3 weeks of looking for the next project, and then COVID hit, and everything shut down completely. So that was when I moved back to Chapel Hill. I had this idea for Tableau. I started writing that. It took about a year to finish the script, and then it took about a year to make the movie. So pre-production, working with friends from the area, was just the best. Getting to shoot it here, and then spending about 8 months doing post-production on it, and now we're here, almost a a little over a year after finishing shooting the movie, we're now having it play here in Scarborough, which is really exciting.
I don't think people realize how long it takes, the editing process and everything, you
Right.
know. If you want a really good film, that's so primary in ending up with a great film.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It was funny when we were shooting, you know, we had a couple of scenes on Franklin Street, which was really fun and also really challenging because you're just dealing with crowds that you have no control over. And there were a couple of times people would come running up to us and say, you know, what are you shooting? And we'd say, oh, it's a movie. And they go, when can we see it? And we're like, we don't know. You know, we haven't even finished making it yet. You know, we're barely scratched the surface at that point. Yeah, it does take a while.
So now you are back in Los Angeles now.
I am. Yeah. So I still have a day job, still doing that, but having the connections, just getting to meet people. There's so many wonderfully creative people in LA who are doing this stuff full time or part time and working towards it full time. So while I'm working on the next script, which I write very methodically, there's a lot of planning that goes into it for me, a lot of outlining, and I have some friends who can just knock out a script in, you know, a few weeks or a few months, and I just take a little bit longer than that. So while I do that, it made sense to be in LA and meeting with people and getting to work on different projects, you know, helping out with, you know, you run sound on a French short, and then you know, get to read other people's scripts and give feedback, or you know, jump in with this project or that project, and it's just kind of the place to be for film. So
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have a project in the works now, or?
I do, yeah. I'm working on the next script. It's very early days at this point. I like to plan
Well,
out.
when can we see it?
Exactly. Yeah, and there's, you know, with Tableau, there was a lot of uncertainty around it, but there was also actually a lot of certainty because I knew that we could pull it off for nothing. You know, it's truly a no-budget feature. We raised about $25,000, just under $25,000 for Tableau, but then came in about 10% under budget, which was, you know, planned
Wow.
for. We were shooting for that. But there was this uncertainty over the size of it, but it was also something where we knew it was totally doable. And for whatever the next project is, right now there actually feels like there's more uncertainty because you're trying to write with, you know, budgets in mind of whatever that may be. And you know, I certainly hope and believe that it'll be a little bit bigger than Tableau, but you also don't want to back yourself into a corner and write something that, you know, will never get produced. So I try to work all those things into the outline. That was something I did with Tableau, was writing with locations in mind of places I knew we could, you know, film at, whether that was, you know, my parents' house or, you know, restaurants in Chapel Hill that I knew people at, or on UNC's campus, you know, trying to craft that all together. So A, it's doable, but B, it still feels very cohesive and organic was definitely something that we were working on from the beginning.
Well, that's great. So the film Tableau is going to be screening Friday night. That's tomorrow here at the Arts Center at 7:30.
That's right.
And we want everybody to come out and see it because it's a great film. It's very well done. So
Thanks.
congratulations on that.
Thanks, Jackie.
And I know that you're going to be doing great things. So
I appreciate it.
I'm going to be following you. I'm going to follow you.
Please. No, that sounds great. No, that's tremendous. Please come out and see it. You know, for everyone watching, please come and see it. It's an honor to be the opening night film of the Scarborough Film Festival. You know, that's so fun. But you know, as much work as I put into it, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our team. Our cast and crew are just tremendous. So we worked with a lot of local filmmakers, a lot of you know, I think all of us, to a certain degree, some were professional and some were, you know, we were amateurs trying to figure this out. And we had a crew of only 6 people, including myself, and a principal cast of maybe 5, and then there were about another 7 or 8 supporting actors as well, and they are just tremendous. And so we're going to have almost all of our crew there tomorrow night. We're going to have 3 of our main cast members, including our lead, Sophia Smith. She's coming down from Virginia to be here, and she's just tremendous. I could brag about her all day. Not only is she an incredibly talented actress, but she's just a wonderful person to work with, and I plan on riding her coattails all the way. So we could do that together. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much again for agreeing to this interview, and I'm looking forward. I've already seen the movie because, you know, I'm one of the screeners,
Sure.
but it'll be fabulous on a big screen.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm thrilled to see it up on the big screen. And again, Jackie, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.